Hey guys, welcome in. Merry Christmas. We hope everyone had a great Christmas. It is week 19. This is Wildcat Weekly. Let's go.
Thank you for tuning in to College SportsCast. College SportsCast presents Wildcat Weekly.
What's up, guys? It is Brad with College SportsCast. We are here to do another Monday episode for you guys of the Wildcat Weekly show. I've got John Hammonds on here with me. What's up, Hammonds?
What's up, man?
So, first of all, John, I want to ask you, did you have a good Christmas?
I did, man. I had a great Christmas.
All right, man. I hope each and every one of you had a good Christmas, and that you got most everything that you wanted. All right. If you're with us on Facebook, man, we appreciate you guys. We have been growing on Facebook this year. You can subscribe for 99 cents on our page. It gives you your own subscribers page and your own chat, and we're in there pretty much about every day, especially game days and things of that nature on the chat. Again, it's only 99 cents a month, and we appreciate you guys if you would help us out to continue to make these for you. John, it's been Christmas, and there's really not been a ton of stuff going on as far as like game action.
No, I mean, you had the Bellarmine game last week. You had the girls play Hofstra yesterday, which they ended up winning. There's just not been a lot of movement the last couple of days, last week. I hope you spent time with your family.
Yeah. Honestly, the last 5 days, it seems like that's all I've done.
Yeah, I mean, because there's not been a lot of ball been playing now. There's ball back in the mix. There's bowl games coming up. A big slate of bowl games tomorrow. There's some bowl games on tonight. Actually, Wednesday starts the playoff. You got Miami and Ohio State. So fun week ahead for us, man. And the portal opens Friday, which is going to be an absolute insane day on Friday.
Yeah, we're going to get to some of that. I do want to hit a couple of things here, to start with. So, let's see. The Cats, we're going to start out yesterday. I went to Lexington and went to Memorial Coliseum. Kentucky women finished up their non-conference part of the schedule yesterday. They won pretty easily. Third quarter, they pretty much poured it on in the third quarter yesterday. Built a 41-point lead, outscored them like 29-9 in the third quarter yesterday, John.
There really ain't much you can say about this game. To do what they've done, though, in non-con, the only loss being Maryland, says a lot about how Kenny Brooks has kind of built that roster. They beat Louisville. They added Tony Morgan, to add to what Clara Strack, Tiani Key. This is a really good basketball team. And they're going into a new year, and they're getting ready to play LSU, which is you go from one extreme to the other, to say the least. This is a really, really good LSU team that they're going to play. But to finish the year out 13-1 in non-con is pretty impressive, Brad.
It is, and I've got a few highlights here from yesterday. I just want to show a few of these here real quick on this game. Here is an out-of-bounds play on their side of the basket to Clara Strack, and Clara had a great game yesterday. I just want to give the girls a little bit of props. All right, that wasn't out of bounds play, but that one was to Kaylin Carroll on a 3 there. The next one that I have is Claire Strack. Hang on right here. So a couple out of bounds plays there, John. First one we saw was KK Carroll, the freshman. Like, she's really coming on lately with some of these games. She's been shooting the ball really, really well as of late. She's up to about 36% from 3 on the season, and that's coming up because she was quite a bit lower than that. And then, of course, Claire Strack yesterday, she barely played in the fourth quarter. She had 24 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 block shots yesterday.
Pretty impressive. She's had a really great year, Brad. Kaylin Carroll's playing well. The whole team is kind of gelling to getting into SEC play. And now they kind of up the ante a little bit where they're going to have to play a really good LSU team that got some really, really good guards.
For sure. Another player that's really coming along the last few games and upping her play is Amelia Hassett. I've got one more clip here that I want to show. Amelia had 5 3-pointers yesterday. She finished with 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, a block shot. She really played well yesterday, and trying to give some of these girls a little bit of just hype here on the show. So on that play, John, you saw Tony Morgan drive the lane and kind of hit the corner shot there. That's a shot that's even open in the men's game a lot when you drive those corner threes. And Amelia was 5 of 8 yesterday from 3-point land. And finished with 18. So if she could keep that kind of barrage going, it could really help this team in SEC play.
Most definitely.
We got Wireman on here with us. What's Wireman saying? Yeah. Whatever.
He's talking about the whole Joe Tipton thing.
Yeah. We'll get to some of that when we're talking about the women, but
you mean the men?
I mean the men. I'm sorry, we're talking about the women. But we'll get to some of that. All right, John. I want to ask you, talking about the women here, talking about getting into the SEC play. We'll get into the LSU game next, but I just want to ask you, in your opinion, what you have seen so far from this Kentucky women's team and Kenny Brooks and his players here, and what we've seen in SEC play. How do you think these Wildcats will fare in SEC play just overall?
The jury's still kind of out on this team going forward. Now, LSU's tough. Oklahoma's really, really good. Texas is probably your best team in the league next to LSU. It's going to be a fight to get to top 6. Let's just be honest.
The top 4 get buys in the SEC tournament. So
that's what I'm saying. You're going to have to really win some games you're not supposed to win. You're going to have to maybe pull a couple of upsets. beat a good Texas team, beat a good Oklahoma team. They can't have the inconsistency that they had a year ago. There was a couple of games like the A&M game, the Texas game, where they kind of stayed in the game with them, and then Texas kind of pulled away a little bit. You're going to have to be more consistent in some of these games that they play. But I feel like they got a good team. Like I said, Toni Morgan's good. She's a good distributor of the basketball. Clara Strack's playing as good as anybody. They lead the nation in block shots. They're hitting.
They're a top 10 defensive team in the country.
Outside, they're shooting at a really high clip. So, opportunity there for them to do some damage in the SEC. And speaking of the LSU game, I just want to say this. I don't expect to win this game. I don't, but we should not be overlooked in this game. Like I said, you got Clara Strack at 6'5". You got Amelia Hassett at 6'3". They got a really good steady point guard, and Toni Morgan. But LSU has some guards that I want to talk about. Flau'jae Johnson.
We will. Let me get to this next topic, and then you can hit that real quick. But just talking about the SEC, John, I want to run through a couple of things real quick, talking about the women. So they play some tough road games. I mean, they got LSU on the road. They got Texas on the road. They got Tennessee on the road. They play Vandy on the road. They home games. They get Vandy at home because they play them twice. Mm-hmm. They get Oklahoma at home, Ole Miss at home. Those are, South Carolina in the season at home. Those are some really key and important games, and Kentucky's got to find a way to win at least half of those, at the very least.
At the least, if you want to get top four, I think you got to win at least a couple of those.
You got to win half. If you got 8 or 9 tough games, you got to go 4-4 or 5-4 in those tough games, and that's going to be the key here for the Kentucky women's team moving forward in SEC play. Now, John, I'll let you go here on this. This week, Kentucky women actually start on January 1st, New Year's Day. They are on the road at LSU, and then they turn around before we do our next Wildcat Weekly show next Sunday. They are at home January 4th against Missouri. So that's their opening week. And just talk a little bit about LSU. You're talking about these guards and the guard play they have. It's amazing. So it's going to be a very tough game.
It is. There are going to be a lot to handle. Flau'jae Johnson, Malaysia Fawali, Michaela Williams, Zakiya Johnson. They have all, Brad, averaged 55 points per game.
Yeah.
As a team.
And they're so athletic. They're so athletic. It's unbelievable.
It's
quick.
There's so many weapons on this team. Like you could take one guard out and you can kind of swing another one in the rotation, and you don't miss a beat. Like they're that good. And Kentucky's going to have to play the perfect game to win this game, in my opinion.
They are. So the matchups in this game is going to be very intriguing, because I think both ways. Like, Kentucky is bigger and got like, Amelia Hassett's 6'3", and she plays outside and shoots. And Kaylin Carroll is 6'3", and she plays outside and she shoots. And like Fawali and Flau'jae Johnson's like 5'10", 5'11", maybe, somewhere around there. And they're just quick as lightning and fast. And it's going to be a contrast of styles, I feel like, and who can dictate the best.
Yeah, I mean, you got Carroll that can really shoot the ball. Brooks has been known to kind of shift his lineup up a little bit. And I wouldn't be shocked to see that with LSU. It wouldn't shock me at all if you saw Carroll play a lot more minutes in this game.
Asia Boone, who has started because Tayani Key's been out, nursing a minor leg injury. it wouldn't surprise me if Boone's a lockdown defender and a guard. She could guard one of those girls, and maybe, take them away a little bit. I mean, come to being Flage or Fawali's actually been the sixth man here and coming off the bench for LSU so far.
Yeah. Like you said, there's just so many players on this LSU team that can just figure things out.
And here's another freshman that we ain't even mentioned, and she's been playing lights out, and her name is Grace Knox. She's been absolutely a monster. And then you got their 6'4", 6'5" girl, Kate.
Well, and you look at it, they got down to Duke, and they fought back to get back in the game.
Kate Koval.
You get them down, they don't kind of fall apart. They never quit. They come back. The Duke game, there was a couple games where they was behind and they fought back and they won by double digits. You have to put this team away. If you want to win this game, you have to find a way to put this team away, and you're just not going to put them away easily. This is not a team you just walk up on the court and say, hey, we're going to put you down 20 points.
They're number 5 in the country for a reason.
They are. And they're probably picked to win the SEC for a reason too.
Yeah, I mean they're 5th in the country. Kentucky's 11th, but going on the road here now. After that game, they come back and they get Missouri at home. John, I want to talk a little bit about this game. Missouri's got a
I say it's a winnable game.
Oh yeah, Missouri's got a first-year head coach. I don't know if you know this, but it's the ex-Tennessee coach. Do you remember who she is? She was the Tennessee coach, Kelly. She's in her first year there, and they have kind of struggled in the non-con in the first year. She had no players. They all left. She had to bring players in. There is one player on this team, though, John, that I do want to mention. Sanaya Tyler transferred to Missouri. She is from the state of Missouri. She went back home. Sanaya Tyler had played 3 years at Kentucky. She averaged her sophomore year for Kyra Elsie. She averaged over 10 points a game. She does have a good 3-point shot here, and she gets to come back to Memorial Coliseum to play more than likely her final game in Memorial Coliseum on Sunday. And I just want to give Sanaya her props. She set last year she kind of was the 6th or 7th girl on the team last year. Didn't get a ton of playing time, but a little bit with Coach Brooks. And she decided to go somewhere else to play for her senior year. Can't blame her at all for that. ST was the nickname that all the girls called Sanaya Tyler last year. The last 2 years, ST. And I just want to give her props, John, for, being able to go back home and to, have her career end her way.
Yeah, and especially an opportunity to play, and now she comes back home to a group of players that she knows and a coach that she knows, and hopefully they do something for her, do just like a little special little pregame like they do for former players coming to the arena. Hopefully they do something for her because she deserves a little bit of celebration. I think the crowd will definitely recognize her when they call her name and that kind of stuff. I think she'll get at least get a cheer there at Memorial. She was a key cog on the team as a sophomore. Averaged over 10 points a game, shot 38% from 3-point line. And that was not a great team. They only won about 12 games that year. But Sanaya spent a lot of time in Lexington, and just want to give her some props here. All right. Before we move on, at the top of the screen on the left corner there, I'm going to put up our QR code for Home Field Apparel. Check out Home Field Apparel. Use our code CSCast.
Do want to get that up. I forgot to do that at the beginning. And then at the bottom right is our happy holidays. Just want to say, John, and to you and to all the fans and everything for us, hope you guys have a happy new year. And we're going to have this up. We're going to do a show tomorrow night too. So going to have this up then as well. All right, John, I'm going to get to some football stuff. I'll let you kind of run through what you want to talk about with some of the staff hires that Stein has been doing.
You know, I look at it from, there's a whole new operation here. I've not necessarily seen a coaching staff the way Stein has built it here at Kentucky. He's built it like an NFL type, operation, GM, assistant GM.
Assistant GM, yeah.
Assistants to assistants. They got the running backs coach, Kobe Smith. He's really good. We found out this week that Justin Burke is most likely going to still be here. He's probably going to coach the tight ends. You got Joe. Is it Joe Davis, the wide receiver coach?
Right.
Joe Price, that's right. Price, Eastside Joe is what they called him in Texas. So there's so many variables with this staff, Brad. You really don't know until you sit down with a bunch of these players now. There's been a few hit the portal. There's going to be more hit the portal Friday. Now, they did convince Ty Bryant to stay back, which I thought was really, really awesome. Ty Bryant's going to be a senior. Here's my opinion about that. I feel like he should be the face of this team this year. I say that because, they used him a lot this season. They used him in a way that kind of showed him out in the way he, played the game of football. I think he led Kentucky in tackles. I think he led the SEC and I think he was he second, third, maybe first in interceptions. He just had an unbelievable season. And getting him to come back, opportunity for Cutter to come back. I don't know the issue with Cutter right now because there's a lot of variables going on with the whole Novosad transfer commitment. You told me that this would happen. Now, I don't know what's going to happen between now and Friday or next week, but there's still quite a bit of players that are still left.
There's still a whole lot of stuff to find out, to be honest with you.
There is. And just as recent as an hour ago, one of your favorites hit the portal.
One of my favorites?
Nasir Addison.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's a tough one.
It is, but I do expect several that's gonna still hit the portal by Friday. To be honest with you,
well, you had Stone Saunders. He was another one.
Here's the deal about the staff, and here's what I want to talk about real quick, just about the staff here that Stein is putting together. So, a lot of the staff, there's two things that I see. Three, I guess, that I see that I feel like Stein is doing here. One, I believe on offense and defense, whether that is through him as a coach, Stein himself, or whether that is through Jay Bateman or Joe Sloan, all these hires seem to have a connection with either him or the OC or DC. That he has hired. They have worked together before. So that is one thing that I'm noticing as he's building a staff here. The second thing is that I want to say that I've noticed is that almost every one of them have worked at a big time program like Oregon or Texas or Ohio State, or almost every single one of them have worked at a big time program. And that leads me to the next one, is that I think the third key here on these staff hires is that because they've been in a big time program, I think all of these guys, or just about all of them that he's put together for his staff, including the GM, the assistant GM, they all know how to handle NIL and big time NIL, and to go after all this stuff and people.
Yeah.
And
you got Jay Bateman, Joe Sloan.
Yep. And you got the assistant GM, you got the GM that's been at Oregon. Director, at Oregon. So, he's putting together a staff that knows how to manage the NIL. And I think that's pretty impressive from a 36-year-old first-time head coach. That's just what I want to say and what I want to talk about here. As far as the staff, we will see how it all pans out on the field. You can never say that it's going to work 100%. Have no idea, not just yet. But I can tell you this, from a position with a guy that wanted to be here and has proven at big time schools that he's worthy of the job, he is at least putting together stuff that looks like could actually make a huge difference.
Yeah. Bringing these coaches from Ohio State, Texas A&M,
Oregon, Texas A&M,
all these other schools, it makes you think that they're going to be a very big deep dive into the portal, and especially in the recruiting world. I noticed the last couple of days that Will Stein is going after big fish. He's going after 5-star kids.
Yeah, and
he's going after 4-star kids. And when Stoops was here, you hardly ever seen us go after a 5-star. Now, you might see one or two every once in a while, but these are like 3 and 4 and 5 guys of 5-star talent. Like, he thinks he can build Kentucky into a different dimension.
Well, these are people who have witnessed and know how to manage the NIL and how to go about it. And I don't think they're scared to try is the big deal. Now, like I said, I don't know if you're going to convince these guys to come play against Alabama or come play against Georgia, who are going to be recruiting these same kids. I don't know if that's going to work, but at least you have a guy that has the confidence to at least try and to do it. So,
and then you got Alan Brown. He was the reported cornerbacks coach. Josh Christian Young. He's a rising star in college football. He's a really big offensive mind. Defensive mind. I'm sorry. I was thinking of the offensive coach. And then you have, what's the other guy's name?
I'm not sure which one you're thinking about.
Tony Washington Jr. was another one. He's the defensive end, outside linebacker coach, which I think is a big deal. Then you got Parker Fleming, just recently added on with the special teams.
Ohio State, Oregon. That's where they've been. It's a big deal to put your name in. So this guy that I got up right here, he is scheduled. Dylan Berryman is his name. He is a 6'2", 330 defensive lineman.
Let me come back. Hold on.
All right.
I bet I'm freezing.
He's a defensive lineman. Dylan Berryman is his name. He has scheduled a visit in January with Kentucky. I think it's January the 15th through the 17th or something like that. He has scheduled a visit. He is a 4-star top 100 guy. He is the number 97th guy in the 2026 draft, or not draft, in the recruiting class. And it's a big deal to be able to get this kid. In the 1st of November, he was committed to Texas. That's how big this guy is. This guy was committed to Texas. Everybody in the country's after him, including LSU, Georgia, Alabama. They're all after him. He has scheduled 2 more visits, one for Nebraska and one for Kentucky. He plans on signing in the February signing. He will be a freshman coming in, joining the freshman class here. And to get him on campus this late and to still be recruiting for the freshman class coming in is a big deal. And to get a guy like this, who a month and a half ago, was committed to the University of Texas and is a top 100 recruit guy, this is an absolute monster of a deal to get a guy like this in for a visit. And John, there's some other guys here, 27 guys that 5-star guys that they have put some offers out to, but this 4-star Dylan Berryman getting a visit is a big deal.
Yeah, it's a very big deal, Brad, and to see where Stein is going with this, going after 4-star kids, going after 5-star kids.
He's a top 100 guy that was committed to Texas last month.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically fighting off teams like Texas, Georgia, Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama. Like, you're going up against the big dogs.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you what I was told today from a source that me and you can't. But I was told today that expect Kentucky to be major players in the transfer portal and to be in on some top guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think they will be, to be honest with you.
And one of those guys is Nick Marsh, former Michigan State wide receiver. He's one. Chaz Coleman, the edge rusher from Penn State, is one. There's a couple other guys. The kid from Florida State, the cornerback, Kentucky's going to be in the mix for him. Malcolm Simmons from Auburn's another one that they're going to be in the mix for. Now, there has been talk that Cam Coleman would be listen, as much as I would love to have Cam Coleman here at Kentucky.
Yeah.
The outlook for that one is you're going up against LSU, Alabama.
But let me run through a few here, talking about some of the possible transfers, because I wanted to hit that, and then, like I said, I've got some topics here I wanted to hit on. So LSU transfers. I wanted to ask you about Kentucky needs a lot of O-line help.
They do.
Do you think there's a bunch of O-line transfers, good starters in there from LSU? Do you think we'll be in on any of those?
I think you might be in on Tyree Adams, the one that just put his name in the other day. I wouldn't be shocked if he was another one. Listen, Kentucky's going to have to go and figure out their offensive line. There's some guys going to the pros. There's some guys leaving. There'll be probably some enter the portal. It's going to be an absolute train wreck trying to figure out who's staying, who's going, what's happening.
Well, John, we have Joe Sloan. Joe Sloan was the OC at LSU, so there's a relationship there.
I think you're going to see a bunch of defensive guys follow Jay Bateman from Texas A&M. Now I wouldn't say 5 or 6. No, I'm saying like maybe 2 or 3.
I mean, it's possible. Now, the next one I want to ask you about is the Auburn wide receivers. You mentioned Cam, but the one that I keep hearing is Simmons as a possibility.
Simmons is a game changer, Brad. I said it. You put him in the right offense, and you put him with Will Stein with a quarterback, you got something. Nick Marsh.
Do you think we go after a couple of these Auburn wide receivers? Because there's like 4 of them.
I think we do. I think there's real interest there. The Cam Coleman thing, it's probably going to be LSU or Alabama. Most likely. Money's going to talk with this one. Now, can you get a guy like Nick Marsh from Michigan State? I think so. Michigan State.
If you could get Simmons and Nick Marsh on the wide receivers.
You're talking about a completely different setup next year.
Oh, yeah. Now, I'll let you kind of go other areas. I talked about wide receivers. I talked about offensive linemen. I know running back, linebacker, defensive backs. What's some other areas you think Kentucky's going to go after?
I think they'll hit running back some. I think they'll hit, like you said, wide receiver. I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't go after a tight end to kind of back up Willie Rodriguez. They're probably going to go into the secondary a little bit. They're probably going to dig into the linebackers. The linebackers, there's a lot of help that we need at linebacker. They lost Steven Souls, which was a big piece to that linebacker crew. There's a lot of non-depth in this linebacker room, and you're probably going to see them add 2 or 3 linebackers. Honestly, if we're being honest.
My question to you is this, okay? Big names, okay? Top of the line, top, say 30, top 40 transfer guys. How many do you think Kentucky goes after and lands out of the transfer portal?
I think they could possibly get maybe 5 at the most, maybe 6.
Do you think 5 or 6? How much money do you think that'll be? Kind of the max money wise?
Yeah, and I think what they'll do, they'll try to add just pieces one by add little
after that. Yeah,
solid pieces slide a guy in at inside linebacker, slide a guy in at cornerback, slide a guy in at offensive line.
right.
Maybe get a backup quarterback
but
to kind of help.
But you think they'll be aggressively going after 5 or 6 top guys, NIL wise, money wise, and competing money.
I think this tackle Ori Williams is one to watch. He played, I think, 12 games last year. He was really, really good. LSU rotated a lot of those guys. There was a lot of rotating. There's a lot of injuries last year for them. I said it yesterday. Kentucky needs to go hit this portal hard at LSU, where Joe Sloan made a living there. As an offensive coordinator, kind of grab some guys from there and see what happens. Get you a couple offensive linemen, maybe get you a defensive back. I don't know.
I'll tell you right now, it would be an upgrade. If we could get a couple of Auburn and LSU guys, those are SEC caliber. They're already there. They're 4- and 5-star kids. A lot of them are. And if we could land, that would be a huge upgrade for Kentucky football right off the bat.
It definitely would, Brad.
Right off the bat.
And not to mention that, Kentucky's also losing their best offensive lineman to the pros. Jalen Farmer. So there's issues along that offensive line. And listen, as better as it was last year, it still needs improvement. There's still some issues there with the offensive line. They need. I'm going to be honest with you, Brett. They probably need 7 guys on the offensive line.
Yeah, but I don't think you can pay high dollar for 7 guys.
No, you're probably going to have to slide pieces in there
I mean, you might be able to pay high dollar for 2 or 3 offensive linemen.
Then you get some backups.
Yeah,
some backup
but I don't really think you're going to be able to pay high dollar for 7 offensive linemen.
I would not be shocked if Kentucky don't get involved with the running back from Missouri, the Davis kid.
Yeah, that's a kid that was committed to Kentucky.
I'll tell you
part
another
of the
one.
reason,
I
part of the reason why people talk about Cam from Auburn is because Kentucky was heavily recruiting him before he committed to Auburn.
They was.
But now, however, he really wasn't in their top 3. He might have been in the top 5 or top 6.
I'll tell you another one. I already mentioned him was Chaz Coleman from Penn State. Kentucky almost landed him.
Yeah.
And he went to Penn State. So that's a name to watch kind of Friday. And I'm going to say this. I know everybody's saying, well, what's going to happen between now and Friday? Well, you better buckle up, that's all I can tell you.
Well, it's not just going to be Kentucky. It's not just going to be Kentucky.
There's going to be some teams that are going to get absolutely gutted.
Well, LSU, I mean, there's already like 16 kids or something with their name in the portal before
today.
Opens.
James Madison that was in the playoffs, they lost every single starter off their team.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a just like head spin, basically, for days for the next like 3 or 4 days after Friday, to be honest, starting Friday.
And I'll say this before we move on to basketball. Nasir, I wish you the best.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing.
His dad follows us on here.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say to him, whatever he decides to do, I wish him the best. I felt like he was a big piece coming back. And I felt like he, made his mark at the end of the year, Brad. He done some really, really good things towards the end of the
when
season.
he got his chance towards the end of the
opportunity. And it just sucks to see what the portal does, but that's just part of it. Kids want to go where they feel like they fit in a system, and maybe he felt like he, wanted to go somewhere where he could play more than where he would be, whether at Kentucky or any other school. But I wish him the best. That was one that kind of hit me because I felt like he could have been a big part of the puzzle to the defense next year.
Yeah, I mean, wish him the best. I mean, honestly, but we're going to be working towards building something for the future. So, All right, John, I want to get to some men's stuff here from the basketball team. There's been an off week this week. There's really not been much going on. I want to ask you to poll or not to poll. That is the question. Should the Cats be in the poll?
I understand from the fact that they beat St. John's.
Yeah, but St. John's was 22nd. They're not ranked now.
The Bellarmine game kind of holds me back. The Bellarmine game, the defense
was an 8-point game at halftime. John, it was an 8-point game at halftime.
The defense was not great in that game. And I will say this. Cam Williams, welcome to the party.
Yeah,
he had a breakout game. And I love Cam Williams. I like what he does. I like his game. I feel like that his game has not gotten to where he really wants it to be. And I know people say, well, why hasn't he done this? And you got to give this kid time because he was just a freshman last year at Tulane.
Yeah.
It's going to take this kid time to kind of.
He's making an absolute – people don't realize he's making a huge jump up. It wasn't like he was coming from UConn or from Florida or from – like he's coming from Tulane. It's a huge jump in competition.
It is. I want to ask you a question real quick, though. And I don't know if this is concerning or if it's just a lag or something. But what's happened to Colin Chandler?
I mean, I'm not real sure just yet. he started the season off, I thought the first 6-8 games, I thought he was the best looking player out there, to be honest with you.
It just seems like
First 6-8 games.
he was doing so great, and then just like he just fell off a cliff.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't been aggressive the last few games. So I'm still kind of waiting to see
I still think Trent Noah's hurt, that wrist. Everybody said, well, I think, he didn't play great against Bellarmine, but I still think he's hurt a little bit. There's still some lingering issues there. And because his shot, I think it was, what was it? That Wednesday, that Tuesday, it did not look great. Maybe he's just, going through a spell, maybe, but I still feel like he's hurt a little bit. Trent can be a big plus to this team. Everybody says, well, he's just a Kentucky kid and he's not going to do – well, he saved our tail a few games last year. Look at the Tennessee game. Look at what was it? There's a couple games down towards the end where he just really drove it up into high drive and helped us and saved us some games, especially with his hustle, going after loose balls. Yeah. Trent Noah is a big piece to this team.
I mean, Colin Chandler played well down the stretch last year as well.
He did.
So, I mean, there's nothing that says these guys can't come out here and play and be a big part of this team going down the stretch. Now, here's what I want to ask you. And I'm not just talking about the next game. We're going to analyze the next game on the next topic. But looking at what we've seen the last couple of games with JQ, Jaden Quaintance back in the lineup, the possibility that Jalen Lowe is going to be available, say, for, let's just call it 15 to 20 minutes a game, if we're lucky, guys. With Jaden Quaintance, Mo Diabate's been back for 2 or 3 games now. What is the SEC outlook for these Cats?
You really want to know? All I can tell you is they better figure it out quick. Because if they play like they did against Bellarmine, I'm just going to tell you straight up, Brad, and most fans are not going to like this. Arkansas and Alabama will beat us to death.
But, I mean, John, outside of those 2 teams, is there anybody in the SEC that you think, like, what's the outlook? Do you think this team is going to be, like, between 3 and 5? Do you think
they're middle of the pack? I think they're 6 and 7. I think that they can – okay, let me put it this way. I think they're better than LSU. I think they're better than Missouri. Missouri, that's a topic for a Tuesday show. I don't know what's happened to Coach Yates, Dennis Yates. It's went to pure hell. So I'll leave that at that. But Missouri's another team. I think we're better than Georgia. I do.
South Carolina.
I know Georgia has had a pretty good year this year. They're ranked, but they've struggled in certain games. They haven't really played nobody. The jury's still out for me is on Vanderbilt. Like me and you talked about the Vanderbilt. I don't know.
I'm not sold just yet.
I'm not sold yet. After that, Tennessee.
Tennessee and Florida are good. I just don't think they're as good as last year.
I don't. I think Kentucky's 6 or 7. I actually think Kentucky's better than Auburn. And I know that sounds crazy, but I think they're better than Auburn. But now we do play Auburn on the road, which is going to be tough. So.
John, I'm going to give you a big shocker here, okay, from me. I really think if this team can play the way they played, if they can put it together, John, and play the way they played in the second half of the Indiana game and the second half of the St. John's game, if they could put that together and play the entire SEC season like that, I think this Kentucky team could actually win the damn SEC.
That's a good point. But that all depends on, Jalen Lowe being healthy, Jaden Quaintance staying where he needs to be. I'm going to tell you something, Brad. Regardless,
it's all going to come down to defense, aggressive, hustle, rebounding. That's the way we played in the second half of the Indiana and the St. John's game. It's not going to be about jacking up 35 threes. That's not what it's going to be about.
Here's where I have the problem, though. You get an injury like to Lowe again, this season's doomed.
Yeah, I said if you can keep all this going.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But yeah, if you keep it going, I think you can finish top 2. You add Quaintance in the middle with Lowe. I'm going to tell you something. What Quaintance did against St. John's in his first game back, tells me that this kid can take over a game in just a matter of minutes.
But you have to put that together every half, every game, and play that way and play aggressive, play lights out defense. You have to hustle. You have to get to rebound the damn basketball, block shots, defend.
And another thing they need to do is quit trying to force things. Like they try to force too much. Like they get in a hurry and they, and then another thing they do with that rushing stuff is the rotations. Like his substitution patterns blow my mind. The way he moves guys in and out, you don't have to change that when SEC play comes.
Well, but some of what you're talking about is against the teams like Bellarmine. Against some of these smaller teams, yes, I think he has substitute pretty badly. But against Indiana in the second half, against St. John's in the second half, he went with his guys.
Mm.
And that's how they come back and won those games. And that's what he's going to have to do if he wants this team to reach their full potential.
I agree.
All right, so let's do a little bit of analysis here of Kentucky at Alabama. This is their next game. I think it's January the 3rd on Saturday or something like that.
It's this Saturday. Yep.
Yeah. And they finally play again. They are at Alabama, John. We all know Alabama kicked the shit out of us last year a few times, 3, I think, to be honest with you.
The first game, Kentucky really should have won.
But I want to ask you about Mo Diabate. He is no longer at Alabama, and now he's at Kentucky. Is he going to be a difference maker in this game for Kentucky?
I think he is. He's going to be a villain Saturday. They're not going to like this guy. He's going to be the villain, more or less. So
he's going to get some boos. I bet he gets some boos. What do you want to bet?
Most definitely. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Last year, you look at this team. They had the shooters to, kind of offset what they was doing. Now, here's the problem. You can't get down 20 points to this Alabama team with this Kentucky team. Just can't happen. They're not built to hit shots like that. They're going to have to slow this game down. They're going to have to play
10 or 12. They might be able to come back from, but that's about it, I think.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to kind of fight their way out of the hole 20 down.
No,
they don't have the shooting to do that. They're going to have to play this game. I hate to say it, they're going to have to play this game rough and prison yard basketball.
They have to muck it up. They got to muck it up, man.
Muck it up, hit some shots when the opportunity presents itself. LeBaron 5-on is really, really good for them. Now, he set out tonight against Yale. Not sure what happened. Jeff Goodman reported that he set out. Not sure if he'll be back Saturday. But either way, they still got a really good basketball team. The big boy in the middle from
I'm sure 5-on will be playing.
Williamson. is it Williamson? I think he's really, really good for them.
Yeah.
They got a really good basketball team. This Alabama team is really good. Now, I don't think they're as good as they was last year.
I mean, it's a tough environment too. Like they feel that there. We all like joked it's the airplane hangar. That's what we always called it, is the airplane hangar. Just kind of just joking around about it. It's a tough environment to play.
It's the hard hat environment. They wear their hard hats.
I mean, everybody's like right on top of you. Like it's right down. It's a small place. Like it's. And they go crazy inside there. It's a tough place to play.
It's a tough game, and I'll be honest with you, Brad. This is a game that, listen, if we lose, I'm not going to be so, aggravated with, because Kentucky's SEC schedule after Alabama kind of eases up a little bit.
For a few games.
There's a couple winnable games there.
Yeah.
But say you win this game, though, you probably change the whole direction of the year.
You can, because like I said, if you can go to Alabama and win at Alabama, I mean, I don't feel like there is some super major, like, tough teams that we can't go compete against. Not really. There's a few. At Arkansas is going to be tough. Yeah. But, I mean – Outside of that, name another place that we absolutely could not go in and get a win.
But you know what would be amazing is, I know everybody likes to joke about Cal, but, Arkansas come into our house last year. They dominated us, right?
Yeah.
Could you imagine us going in there with a bunch of
– go get them this year? That's what we need to do. That needs to be the mindset, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's with two of the best freshmen in the country, and Acuff and Malik Thomas, that would just make everybody's year, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. It would. But, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, John. I think this Alabama game, okay, I'm going to say this, and I noticed that Andy Katz and March Madness today posted that this Kentucky-Alabama game was the game of the week. They listed it as number one this week. In college basketball. And I'm going to say something here. I think the women going to LSU to open on the road at LSU is actually a more tough game than the men going to Alabama.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I do. I think the men could steal this win here at Alabama.
I really do. It's just going to take a team effort, and thankfully we get a basketball game. My God, we've been sitting around for almost we could have went to Europe and back in the span that we played a basketball game.
Yeah, I done flew to Moscow twice. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. I was just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right, John.
Maybe they'll leave you. Maybe they wish they left you there, honestly.
All right. I'm just messing around, but it seems like it's been forever. All right. Anyway, NCAA, I want to ask you, we're heading in. Kentucky's now, 9-4? Is that where we are? 9-4? We were 5-4. Everybody was thinking, whoa, we may not even make the NCAA tournament. I think after JQ has come back here, I think people see that this is going to be a tournament team. What's your scenarios? Where do you think Kentucky tops out at?
I think they get in with 18.
18 wins?
19, maybe 19. They're probably going to win 19 games at the minimum. 20 if we're going for an upset or two, but 19 of those are going to have to be against decent teams like Tennessee at home.
That's only 10 wins. That means you're saying Kentucky's going to go 10-8 in the SEC.
Yeah, I just don't feel confident about this team right now, man. I just don't.
I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like this team, I don't think this SEC is all that great. If this was last year's SEC, I would agree with you. I just don't think this SEC is all that great.
But this Kentucky team has a tendency to play down to everybody, like Missouri, LSU. They have a tendency to have those games.
12-6 seems pretty attainable to me.
It does. Do I think they can win 21? Yeah, I think they can win 21 games. But they're going to have to
12-6 would put them at 21.
They're going to have to upset a few teams. They're going to have to beat, Tennessee. Alabama's going to have to be one. Florida,
so that puts them at 21-10 heading into the SEC tournament. Where do you think a 22-11 Kentucky team? What's the NCAA ceiling for that team?
They're probably a 6 seed.
Are they a 5 seed, a 8 seed? What are they?
They're probably a 6 seed, and they're probably going to play a 3 seed in the second game, which is a team sort of like BYU.
That's going to be a tough road.
Yeah, this season's not going to be what everybody expects it to be. There's going to be some bumps in SEC play.
I'm going to be honest with you, John. I'm going to be a little bit more optimistic than that, okay? So I truly think that this team, if they can stay healthy and play like they did in the second halves of the Indiana and St. John's game and play full games and get JQ really going, and at the end of the year, he's averaging 18 points and 12 rebounds a game and 3 or 4 blocks, and if they really use him and Diabate and Cam Williams can knock down some shots and Owe can get his 15, 18, 20 points every night and spread the floor out and get him going, and Jalen can come in and play 15 or 20 minutes because I think that's going to be his max, I think this team could win the SEC and go 14-4.
Yeah, but the problem I have with that is sometimes the offense gets stagnant, and you can't do that in some of these SEC games.
Yeah, but if you're playing aggressive and get the ball up and get it down low and get a bunch of offensive rebounds and play that way, you're going to score a hell of a lot more points than bricking threes.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That's all I'm going to say. So I'm talking about you have to play a certain way with this team to do this. You got to play. If y'all remember the Oscar Sheboy team, you got to play more that way with this team.
Ugly. Play ugly with Wheeler and Ty Washington, hit shots when you need them.
Yep.
Kind of, make runs when they're there. That kind of thing.
Wireman says he thinks John's being too negative.
I'm not being negative. I'm really not. I'm just, trying to be level-headed so I won't get let down. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is everything kind of has to go their way. They have to stay healthy. They have to play a certain way in order for that to happen. Here's the thing I worry about.
A 14-4 Kentucky team in the SEC, if they could do that, you're looking at a 23-8 team. And if they could get to the SEC championship game, whether they win it or not, if they could at least get to the SEC championship game, that would put them at 25-9. I think Kentucky could be a 3 or 4 seed.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing, Brad. I'm just saying, with Lowe, all it takes is that shoulder to just pop out.
It does.
Not one little wrong move.
Right. I'm not saying if that's the case, then I think Wireman is completely right. You're looking at 9-9 or 10-8.
Let's just hope he can stay healthy. Let's pray for good vibes in the new year. That's all I can say. Because, I want it to happen. I'm the biggest UK fan around, but I also have to be neutral when it comes to certain things before being let down.
Well, that's the reason why I've got scenarios. That's the reason why I've got that word on there. I'm talking about.
I'm not being negative. If I was being negative, it'd have been the Dallas Cowboys. So
I'm talking about the top scenario, and I'm talking about where I think more the bottom scenario would be.
If Wireman wants me to really be negative, I can get negative about the Dallas Cowboys because I'm really in the mood to talk about that right now.
Good grief. You can go ahead, John, and you can record what you're going to say about the Dallas Cowboys, and you can play it 5 years from now. And you can just quit talking about it.
Yeah, that's true.
You can record it, just play it 5 years, play it every year. You don't have to talk about it no more.
Every year's the year. Yeah.
You don't have to talk about it no more. You can just move on.
That's true. That's true, Brad. Let's
You
move
just
on to
move
some
on
let's
from that.
move on to some volleyball, man.
All right, man. I do want to hit just a couple of things on the volleyball here. Of course, they ended the season national runner-up, but I do want to get to a couple of things here. So Eva Hudson signed with an Atlanta pro team. She is already there. She's going to be starting with this pro team in January. Their season runs from January to March. She signed with a pro team out of Atlanta. I just want to congratulate her. What a special season she had for the Cats.
She did, man. She done some incredible things. Really want to miss her being a part of this team. She broke a lot of, Big Ten, SEC record. She's done a lot of things good for the game of volleyball in college athletics. And to see her cry and hurt after losing to A&M, like, it does something to you, Brad. And I know people say, well, it's just a volleyball game. Well, not to these kids. These kids fought their tails off all season long. I've seen a few people trashing them on social media, why they couldn't do this, why they couldn't do that. Listen, do you know how hard it is to win a national championship?
In any sport, anywhere.
People think you can just jump out there and just hit a ball.
I mean, look, volleyball has like 6 or 8 teams that have just dominated volleyball for decades. It's not easy. Huh?
I said Nebraska was one of them.
Yeah, Nebraska's one of them. Yeah, but there's about 6 or 8 teams that have just dominated the sport for decades. And it's not easy to crack those and get up in there and do what Craig Skinner and these women have done over the last 5 or 6 years at Kentucky. To get to the national championship game is an amazing feat in its own. I just want to wish Eva Hudson the best. Like, I'm so happy that she came here for her 1 year, her senior year, led us to the national championship game. She has signed with the Atlanta pro team, and I hope that it covers, I don't know what kind of contracts they get when they sign with these pro teams. I'm not sure how that works. It's only an 8-team league. I do know that. So I'm not sure how that works. But I wish her nothing but the best.
Yep, same here.
All right, real quick on this topic as well. Kentucky has signed out of the transfer portal from Notre Dame, an outside hitter. Her name is Morgan, and I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to butcher her last name, but I'm not. John, do you want to try her last name?
Gertay
or something like that? Yeah.
She was an All-American, Brad. She had over, near 500 kills.
Nearly. It's like 497 or something like that.
It's a big piece to this team, with Cassie O'Brien coming back. You got Asia Thickman coming back. Delay's back.
Morgan,
This is going to be
Molly Tufo.
top 5 team. No, it's
Yeah.
going to be another top 5 team next year.
Oh, absolutely. They will
And then
100%. They will 100% start the year off inside the top 5.
And then you had the one girl transfer to Louisville, which set me off a little bit.
Yeah, that's the next thing I wanted to talk about. I just
Now,
wanted to.
I don't hate her for doing what's best for her. It's the fact that she went to a hated rival. That's
Yeah, right next door, basically.
right next door. That's
Yeah. I mean, look.
But I do wish her the best.
Brooke, I have nothing but like I have loved watching you play the last 2 years. She's just a sophomore this year.
She's really
She
good.
played more. She played more as a freshman. They brought in Eva Hudson. She didn't get to quite play as much as she did as a freshman. She is an outside hitter. And on the right side, basically, that's where she played as a freshman. She didn't get to play quite as much this year as she did last year. And I think that played a part in her transferring. I do hate that you go to a rival like Louisville, who has a good team and a good program. I will give it to them. They do have a good program there. They do. But beyond that, I just want to say that. And then Coach Skinner and the team here, we've kind of hit this already, but with what they have coming back and then landing this 6'5" girl from Notre Dame who will be a junior next year, outside hitter, to maybe take Eva Hudson's place on this team, like they could easily be a Final Four team next year.
Yeah, I mean it's right there for the taking. And to kind of add to what you said about Brooke, she I joke about the whole Louisville thing, but she is a really good player. And Louisville's getting a really good player. So just don't like the rival aspect of it, but I do wish you success in everything you do. So
yeah, I mean, she is a really good player. I'm actually going to miss her. I was hoping she would come back. I knew that she was preseason picked as an all SEC team girl, preseason, like on a second team or something. But she just didn't get to play as much this year because of Eva Hudson and Lizzie Clark.
I want to say something real quick before we get off this volleyball stuff. We need better media members in media.
More knowledgeable.
We need more transparency. We need more actual reporting, not saying something and hoping something flies on a wall and sticks. And I know everybody's probably wondering what I'm talking about, and I'm talking about the player that Kentucky was apparently involved with that was not even the case.
Yeah.
Trenton Flowers. It wasn't in Kentucky. There was a few schools that didn't even know that they was even on a list.
This is true.
And we just, like I said, we just need better reporting in media. We need better transparency. We need more reporting and less, clickbaits. At the end of the day, that's how you lose your reputation.
I mean, I understand having contacts, and I understand that you get information from people, and maybe they have been right and they've never steered you wrong in 20 times or 50 times, and you just get to the point where you trust them. But here's the deal. Sometimes where they get their information from may be wrong. And they've told you something that you have trusted them on because they have been right 27 times, and you run with it. You have to do some due diligence yourself and check things out.
I'm going to tell you somebody that I really like in media, and he's not high strung. He's not big time. He's just a simple country boy, and he does work tremendously every single day. He follows high school sports. He does everything the right way. Now, I wouldn't say he's not big time. He's big time for his area is what I should have rephrased that. He's big time for his area. And that's Les Dixon. And Les, if you're watching this, I want you to know that there's still people out there that see you and see the love that you have for the game and how you present yourself in media. And there's still good media members out there. And he's one of them.
Yeah,
he's one of the best.
You just got to watch what you report. There's some networks out there that I could claim and tell you about to stay away from, that they don't do all that great. They put stuff out there just for clickbait and just to try to get attention, to be quite honest with you.
I know where you're going.
There are. I haven't said a name just yet, but trust me, I will. If you push me up, I will. I promise. But you do have to. I'll let you guys kind of, here's the deal. When you follow these people and then half the crap they say turns out to be false, if you're still following them a week later, that's your fault. That's on you. You should be picking people who are constantly trying to get things right and to tell you right information, not the first thing you hear.
That's why I said I love Les Dixon, because during the whole Reed Shepherd commitment and during all of his time, it was pretty well known he was going to UK. But you had other schools kind of, he might be going there. He's going to Spurn, Kentucky because his dad went there. All this other stuff. But Les Dixon held to his guns and said, this is a Kentucky kid, and he's probably going to UK.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about Les, is that he never steers away from what he's reporting. And we need that more in media. And if if you're watching, I'm shouting you out tonight. You're one of the best media members in the eastern part of the state of Kentucky. You do unbelievable work. And I'm now a Corbin Red Hound. Go Hounds.
A quarter?
Yeah.
Wireman, you ain't right.
I know what he's talking about. Those fake groups that we get in.
Oh, was it actually something that was on there?
Yeah, he donated money to a janitor, apparently.
Good grief.
Somebody
I got to where, guys, Wireman, honestly, John follows most of it, but I got to where I don't even pay attention. I don't even look at it. I pay no attention to these people.
Well, and there was another one on there that said Oscar Shibwe donated to Nigeria and that he was getting ready to play ball at UK.
And I hate to tell these people, but all these people that are saying we should go after Oscar Shibwe and we should get these guys back and all this stuff because some of these former semi-pro players are coming back to college and all this crazy stuff that's going on. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm going to look you straight in the eyes and I'm going to tell you, if they played ball here before and declared for the draft, they are not, I repeat, they are not coming back to play here at UK. I don't know where he did that, but Oscar Shibwe is never coming back to wear another Kentucky jersey on the floor in real time. Okay,
unless it's like those
alumni things, and I'm talking about in real time at Kentucky.
Yeah, real time, yeah.
That's not happening. Y'all can just forget it. It's dumb. Drop it.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm kind of excited about our show tomorrow. Getting to pick some of these playoff games. It's exciting, Brad.
Wireman, I agree with you, man, 100%. That's why we're bringing it up and talking about it. Drives
I'll work
me
around the
insane
clock,
too.
post some stuff. Then a
Yeah.
page like that.
And
will
then
say-
they'll get all these hits and all these shares and everything because they post false crap and stuff.
Yeah,
I
they
get
get
it.
all the. Everybody says, "Well, that's awesome and that's great," and everybody so gullible in the comments that they don't look at what's being reported.
I mean, Lord have mercy. If you're out there reporting that Oscar Tshiebwe wants to come back and that it might happen and all this, you need to you need somebody to come along and pick you up and drop you off in like Greenland. And just leave your ass. No passport, nothing. Just leave you.
Oh,
That's what needs to happen.
oh, mercy. I won't end on that note.
I'm telling you. That's what needs to happen. Bye. I hope you have a nice life in Greenland.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm telling you.
oh,
All right,
goodness. Oh.
guys, we are going to be back tomorrow night. We are going to do our game day pick'ems tomorrow night because the first playoff game quarterfinal is Wednesday night. So we are going to cover the 4 quarterfinal games for college football playoffs. Last year we did a live show for the championship game. We might do that again this year. That was really fun to do a live that night for the championship game. We're looking forward to these games for the college football playoffs. I am going to throw in the Alabama game, the LSU game for the women over the weekend, and a few others. So look tomorrow night for our game day pick'em show from College Sportscast. And we've had a little fun here. Went a little longer than I thought we would because it didn't seem like there was a whole lot to talk about.
I'm gonna drop you off in Greenland.
I'm telling you, no computer, nothing. Just drop them off in Greenland.
Oh. Have a good night, everybody.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one. We will see you tomorrow night.